Okay, so it's currently US Championship weekend and many other countries, which is usually exciting and cutthroat, some of the world's best fighting for those top 3 spots to go to that year's Olympics or World Championships. But this year being an off year and having a newly proposed World Ultimate Championship that you qualify through ranking and previous medals, the US Championship is more laid back this year and just a battle for the national title, which makes Noah Lyles going 9.79, his fastest time ever if you count wind, being even more ridiculous than it already is. But before we get into that, let's take a step back. There was a lot going on before this race in terms of build-up. Coleman was looking in his best form in years, his relaxed 9.96 in the heats, bringing back flashes of that 2019 form. Kenny Bednarek and Ronnie Baker both looked great, running slightly wind-aided 9.8s. Plus Noah ran his all conditions fastest time ever with the help of some wind at his back too. But it's a simple reoccurring pattern. Putting all speculation aside, it doesn't matter how fast everyone else ran at any point of the season. If Noah Lyles isn't injured, he is the fastest on the track. And today it was just incredible. If we're looking at a step past 10 meters, there is no shockingly bad start. He's maybe a foot behind, and at that point you already know it's game over. Also, funny tidbit here, Bednarek swerves in his lane a little, looking to upgrade that shove from last year to a tackle, and while Coleman and Kenny actually drive further past Noah here, when we enter the last 50 meters, Noah just turns into an entirely different animal to everyone else. Earlier this year, I made a video titled something along the lines of "The only sprint rivalry that matters right now," talking about obviously Blake Seville, the reigning world champion, and Noah Lyles, and how they're in the shape of their lives earlier than ever. And in my eyes, today confirms it, and I stand by the statement wholeheartedly. 9.79 makes Noah clear and away the fastest man in the world this year. And with the time alone, he also enters a new conversation of 11 athletes who have run 9.7 at least twice. And that list actually shortens to 9 if we don't count altitude times. But to be honest, best of all, he ran this in New York of all places. Who the hell runs fast in New York?
Usain Bolt blowing away the field. Usain Bolt takes the men's 100 meters. It's a new world record.
Now, for the most of you who have been paying attention, the instant reaction to only talking about Lyles and Seville is what about Kanyinsola Ajayi? You know, the guy laying pipe to Seville every meet. And yeah, I was one of the first to give him his flowers. But realistically speaking, what he's been doing so far has been unsustainable. That 9.84 into a headwind is a 9.7 with the smallest of tailwinds. I didn't really get to talk about how impressed I was with that time, so there it is. But he has been running fast for way too long. He's been running sub 10 this year every race since April. That's 8 100 meter finals races, and he ran a lengthy indoor campaign as well. As much as I don't want the fireworks to end, the wheels just have to fall off somewhere. What other upside does he have left to give this year specifically? Because keep in mind, I am only talking about this year. The future is going to be wild with him entering as a pro next year. And I am getting a little sidetracked, this is a Noah video, I'll get to that soon. But look at the other NCAA athletes who won a title around him. Adasia Hodge has slowed down since NCAAs. Birnbaum, who won the 1500, has turned up injured since trying to keep up with Kerr and his mile world record. Oakley has run one race and it was a second slower than her NCAA time. And Ogazi has also only ran once and since gone MIA. It is so astronomically rare for an athlete to run the NCAA gauntlet and in that same year win a global title. Off the top of the dome, I can only think of a Thing Mu who's done it. So in saying that, if Ajayi is to keep going and challenges these guys seriously till World Ultimates, I think Mu is the only freaky level of talent we can outright compare him to. And even then, in my opinion, based off what he showed us, regardless how this year ends, I see Ajayi as the next coming of a similar caliber sprinter to Gatlin, Blake, or Gay, but I won't say Bolt because frankly, I just don't think anyone can fill those shoes. But speaking of Bolt, my crack theory after this race is Noah has never been this fast. Technically Paris ran the same time, but there was a whistle of extra wind, and that was at the peak of his season. This is an off-year US Championships. There was nothing on the table for him. This race was simply continued building into his season, and he said it himself when interviewed.
No, the real reason that I'm here is I needed track meets. We have a really big break about to happen now because of Commonwealths and because of Europeans, so I won't see another track meet until Lausanne.
So with that said, what intrigues me is how fast are we going to see him run in the 200? We've technically never seen a 9.7 Noah run a 200, because yeah, while he did do it at Paris, he 100% had COVID, don't at me, even if the wheelchair was a bit over the top. And on top of that, by the end of the season, how fast will his 100 meter be? And as a third, even more ridiculous point, could he seriously challenge Usain Bolt's 200 meter world record? And I mean that wholeheartedly. I didn't just throw that in the video as a possible title clickbait. We already know, when it comes to 200 meter splits, Noah has a faster finishing 100 meter split. Noah's PB of 19.31 at the 2022 World Champs closed with a 9.16 compared to Bolt's 9.27 in his world record run. So theoretically, he gets a flying start, which is looking better than ever right now. And let's say by the end of the season, here's 9.7 mid-shape to finish it out. Boom, at minimum, we're looking at a ballpark 19.2, and if you want a dream, maybe lower considering his season's best that year when he ran 19.31 was 9.95 in the 100. But of course, that's kind of flawed logic. That doesn't really take into account the nuances of changing his body physically to cater to 100 meters over 200. Just looking at muscle mass alone, he's bigger as of the past 2 years especially, and that'll help you plow through 100, but not so much 200. And for those of you who aren't so convinced that Noah even has more upside for the rest of the season, which must be such a minuscule amount of people considering his track record, every single year without fail, Noah has ran faster after the US Champs than before it or at it. Except that one blemish at the 2024 Olympics. This man knows what he's doing, and this 9.79 was just the precursor to whatever he's about to do next. And yeah, this has become a bit of a Noah Glaze video, but Baker looked great. I really rate Coleman this year. After his heat, I was kind of daydreaming he was going to win the whole thing. And even the final, his finish did look kind of alright. But Kenny Bednarek in particular continues the fraud streak. I feel like I sometimes clown on Kenny too much. Nah, bias aside though, his problem is an obvious one. He loves being in shape for too much of the year. Like if I'm to do some armchair analysis, like I always do, it seems like an ego problem stemming from being in the US, which is ultra competitive compared to every other country, and always coming second place.
Can you give yourself some credit? Tired of losing. Kenny, come on, man.
And the result, he's just in slightly too good shape all year round and trying to get in every win he can. Which, funnily enough, he's not even winning anyway. Basically, he's just squandering his own ability to have a proper peak. Just as an example, when do you see Noah Lyles running 19.6 or 9.7 in May? Even if he was to change this, I don't think Kenny would win to be fair, but probably have a little extra for the bigger moments and get him that much closer. Like Sha'Carri Richardson when she's on. Shout out to her, winning in a great time, 10.77, but beating a bit of an empty field, which is 100% infuriating. Because where the hell is Melissa Jefferson Wooden, Mrs. I don't dodge anyone?
If anybody ever realized over the last year, I ain't ever ran away from no race.
But anyway, that's enough salt for the day. But the fact that Sha'Carri ran well, Kayla White ran well behind her, and Coleman ran well, it doesn't really give Bednarek an excuse considering they all have the same coach. And yep, that's it for the quick ramble video. Sorry if this one is honestly a bit trash. I've been a bit time starved and had some external pressures to change the content slightly. But regardless, I'll still probably make another video on the US Champs. I'll definitely be making something on the Commonwealth Games that's coming up next week. And there's just lots going on, lots to enjoy, and if you haven't yet, join the Fantasy League. Bye bye now.